welcome back. Shock, I'm wearing blue. So today I'm going to talk about stuff. A very interesting topic. No, of course not. I'm going to be talking about finding the one thing before finding the one person. Or it could be more than one thing. It could be multiple things. So, relationships and dating. Interesting topic. Something I don't usually talk about. So, what I want to share today is, from my experience, what I've witnessed and what I've learned, what a good relationship is versus what a bad relationship is. Why being single can actually be a really good thing for a bit of time to work on yourself. And then some tips for focusing on making a more happier version of you. Okay, I'd like to emphasize that I am not saying don't have a relationship in this video just before anyone misinterprets this. I'm not saying I'm single, so therefore everyone else should be single. I've witnessed so many good relationships, and my parents included, where two people have interests, they have goals, and they support each other, and they form a really good relationship and help each other feel good. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. What I'm talking about is perhaps single people watching this may be thinking, oh, I need to find someone, then I'll be happy. That's not necessarily the way to go. Focusing on working on yourself, making you be happy first, and finding the things you want to do is a better approach, as well as taking actions, to date. But by focusing on what you love and what makes you happy, you're going to attract the right person and actually the right people in terms of friendships into your life as well. Okay, so first of all, what is a good relationship? A good relationship is when you've got two people who are already feeling great. They love their lives, or they like their lives, and they enjoy what they do, they have goals, and they know they can understand what makes them happy, and then they look after themselves a bit. But then they meet each other, and then they click. Hope you like the arm action then. Don't know what that was about. Anyway, they click and they can support each other, feel good. But they don't rely on each other for being happy. They make themselves happy. But by meeting each other, they can support each other as well. What's a bad relationship? So this is from my experience from dating, my experience from what my friends have said, and my just general observations, as well as learning that I've read about. So a bad relationship is when you've got two people, they don't necessarily have to have no lives, but they might be perhaps so reliant on trying to find someone else to make them happy because they think the answer to being happy is to meet someone else. And that's a bit dangerous in the fact that you're relying on an external person or external factor to make you happy. Only you can make you happy. And these people can meet each other and be happy at first. Again, that's my click motion. Don't know what that is. They meet each other and they feel good at first. That's great. But after time, they realise they're so focused on each other that they might not necessarily focus on other things, or they neglect some of the stuff they used to like. A bad relationship is when they're focused too much on each other for making each other happy. So, to give an example from my own life, when I've had some good dating experience and bad dating experience. When I've met someone and it's been a good date, or we've got on really well and been on a couple more, it's been when I've been authentically myself, working on my own life and goals, and I've been able to express what I like, so express who I am as this random crazy guy. I like to write, I have a day job where I work in project management, I like to speak, I like to coach, and then the girl's able to relate. Either they do something similar to what I do or something different, and we get on really well. We're just talking about our interests. In the past, a few years ago, when I was perhaps a bit insecure about what I did and the fact I wrote books or hid something away about me, then I felt like I wasn't my real self and we didn't click enough, whoever I was talking to at the time. I found that when I focus on my own goals, my own life, naturally what follows is being able to meet people with similar minds and therefore date people who have similar interests, and we get on the best. And people I haven't gotten as well with, there's nothing wrong with them. I never dated a bad person at all. But we just haven't got the same interests. If I don't get on with a girl on a date, I shouldn't be trying to force a relationship, and they shouldn't be trying to force a relationship just for the sake of being with someone. But unfortunately, that's what many people do. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're single, don't worry about it too much. Just keep working on yourself and what makes you feel good, because then things will flow naturally. And you're going to have down days, but just come back to you and focus on how you're feeling and try and adjust that. Now, to share some tips on how you can focus on you more rather than getting too preoccupied with trying to necessarily find someone. Number one, my typical one, journaling and meditation. By journaling and meditating, you're able to focus, doing the action. You're able to focus on you a little bit more, able to understand what makes you happy, what makes you feel down. And from that self-awareness, which I've talked about before, you're able to adjust yourself, take actions to make you feel good, rather than looking for external factors to make you feel good. And it can also help you to identify what you really want out of life in terms of what makes you feel fulfilled, whether that's job or your hobbies. The next point is self-care. When I say self-care, I don't just mean lying on the sofa, watching Netflix or playing your PS4 or Xbox or whatever you like doing in that sort of way. That can be great, you deserve a treat, but what I'm talking about is treating your body and your mind with respect. So I'm talking about eating the right foods, drinking the right drinks, getting exercise, meditating, journaling, learning things that are going to be of value to you. Now, I'm not saying you've got to be 100% perfect all the time with all this stuff, because no one's perfect. But you're allowed to treat yourself now and then. But what I'm saying is, when you feed your body or your brain with negativity all the time, you're not going to feel as good. So therefore, focus on self-care, because you're going to feel good. And myself, I've had like setbacks when perhaps I was dating and I didn't feel so good. And I was just on social media scrolling at random stuff, seeing what friends were doing. And that was no good for me. But when I started going for walks, when I was listening to podcasts, I started to feel so much better, educating stuff, feeding useful information and then taking action on it to feel good. My next point, get a coach. So a life coach in particular can help you by facilitating the relevant questions and conversation to help you to understand what you want. So this is understanding why you want to hit a particular goal and what actions you're going to do to get that in place. That can really help you feel more fulfilled and like you've got a purpose and focus on yourself rather than something else. And when you identify perhaps an area you want to work in, that's when getting a mentor could be quite useful, because they're going to help you be able to achieve progress a lot faster by giving you expertise if you can afford one. And when we feel progress, we feel happier. Or perhaps you could ask someone you know who's an expert in that area for advice, a cheaper option. And then my final point, as I talk about quite a lot, reduce social media. So if you're currently single and you're focusing on getting that girlfriend or getting that boyfriend, and you're thinking, oh, look at so-and-so, oh, they seem so happy, that's not going to do you any good at all. And going back to what I was just talking about, when perhaps I was dating a girl and it didn't go so well, when I was looking on Facebook and then seeing all these happy couples, that didn't do me any good. So by reducing social media, you're able to focus on yourself a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying happy couples stop posting all your pictures, because people can post what they want, and it's fantastic to see all these happy holiday pictures and all these people. What I'm saying is, if you're spending too much time comparing yourself to that happy couple on holiday or anything, any kind of comparisons, you're not going to feel as good. So make sure you reduce your social media hours. And I found it's done me a world of good. I only now have 2 slots a day where I look at my social media, and it's helped my productivity and allow me to focus on myself a lot more. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video. A bit different on relationships and dating that I don't usually talk about. But the main takeaway I want you to get from today is, if you're single, don't worry about trying to find that right person and purely focusing on that. Focus on yourself and what makes you feel good, makes you feel more joyful, because you're going to raise yourself up, and actually you're going to raise other people around you by feeling good, and you're going to attract the right kind of people into your life. For any more information about me, you can check out my website, which is johnnypardo.com, or you can contact or find me on social media. Just type in Johnny Pardo into either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Spotify, Anchor, or for any of my books, it's Amazon. Remember, focus on yourself, because then you'll attract the right people and person into your life. See you later.